Good morning, traders. This is Brad Matheny. Today is the 30th of July, and this is the Plan Your Trade video for the 30th of July. We are looking at a pop trigger today in a carryover mode, which should be a pretty good move. Now, we have this bottom rally setting up tomorrow in a counter trend mode, and we're going to have to see how things play out today to really get a good feel of what that bottom reversal trigger is. I've kind of drawn out the next 3 days or so as what I see happening. And today's pop trigger, I believe, is going to be, as I drew it yesterday, a nice solid rally mode, not something massive, probably trying to end up above this 550, 551 area, maybe a little higher, maybe up into this 552, 553 area. But a pop trigger is generally a pretty big bar, normally generating some pretty solid upward trending. And I think we're going to see it just move just comfortably above this 550, 551 area and then try to settle. Now tomorrow, like I said, if we get that type of a pattern, we're going to have to look at the last couple of days here to try to determine what the trend is. So the way I look at the counter trending is I would take the last 3 to 5 days. So we can take a look at here, yesterday, the day before, assuming today is finished. So we would take a look at today, yesterday, and the day before, and we would look at this trend being up. And then we would look at today, yesterday, the day before, the day before, and the day before, and look at where we closed, and the day would be up. So a counter trend top pattern or rally pattern, would probably be a reversal pattern like I've drawn here, a downward trending pattern, essentially retracing part of yesterday's or today's rally, which is, again, we're talking about today and about the counter trend pattern tomorrow, setting up a counter trend trade, likely trying to find support back in this area, which is really very key support along this area here and this area here. Very key support back in this area. So I would not be surprised to see price attempt to roll back down, find support in this 548, 549 area, maybe a little lower, and then roll back up the following day as we move into a trending mode base rally. That's this base rally 301 on 8-1, moving back into trending mode, and then a breakaway, which could see prices really begin to accelerate. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at this and see how we play out today. Yesterday's flat down pattern played out perfectly. And I love how things are coming back into alignment. We had what I call the Kamala shakeout, which was right here, this big downward trending that threw the entire system off when Kamala Harris was nominated. And I call this the shakeout, which is, really, as I talked to clients last week, the beginning of what I call a Vortex Rally, which is just now setting up. You will see, and I want to come over here and show you gold. You will see that gold has already moved into that huge upward reversion. And let's come back over here to hourly or 4 hour. And you will see that gold is now moving into that huge upward reversion after this moderate shakeout. And how I told everyone last week to get ready, that this is gold pulling away from fear and risk and would immediately revert back to the upside. I would very much like to see gold rally back up into this area, 2470, 2480, and then make a big move higher. I think that's very much in the works. I would say that Bitcoin would be doing the exact same thing. And you can see how I've kind of drawn this. But again, if I were to eliminate some of these and just show you what I think is actually going to take place, is that I would think that after this moderate rotation, we would see Bitcoin move back into a trending channel, that would likely see us back up here in the 72,000 up to 78,000 area fairly quickly. Bitcoin acts as a hedging instrument as well. And I believe that Bitcoin, like gold and silver, will rally as fear continues to persist with regards to the US election. And I believe that you could pretty much just extend this level and control CV and extend this level. And there you would have your upward channel, just pushing higher and higher. So I'm expecting Bitcoin to make a good move back at upside, probably up into the 72,000 area, 71,700 to 73, roughly 300, trying to find some new peaking level here. And that would be a pretty solid, looks like new high or new recent high. Yeah, that would put us right back up to the peak here. And that's a pretty good area for Bitcoin really to find some resistance. So we got a nice solid move. Maybe do the math here. Maybe a move up about $5,700 in Bitcoin. So again, going to be a nice solid rally. And like I said, I do believe that we enter into a vortex rally, which a vortex rally is kind of hard to understand, but not really when you think about what's actually happening. If the global dynamics continue to stay at play, we're going to be looking at a vortex rally that continues to move up into a broader, everlasting kind of a rally phase as this dynamic continues to play out, which I discussed in the weekend video. I won't go over it in detail now, but I see this building and strengthening, and we'll know more by the end of this week. But I believe this bouncing, like we've seen in gold and should be seen in the SPY and the Bitcoin and the QQQ, is the beginning of what I call the vortex rally phase. So we come over to QQQ and take a look. QQQ should break down very similarly to the SPY. You can see that we are already at 465.18, up a quarter of a point. We go down here to 10-minute. And what we're looking at today is a pretty solid rally day. So I didn't draw the patterns on here, and it would be pretty difficult to do it unless I go back to here and duplicate the pattern drawings here. So what we would be looking at is yesterday's top or flat down pattern. You can see it's pretty common right here. So we'll leave the flat down here, and then we get the rally phase up here, which will likely go a little higher. And then we get the top down pattern over here. Make sure that I get these aligned top down. And then we have the rally phase, which may be a little higher. And then we have the secondary rally. And what I'm really trying to do here, guys, is just show you pretty much 1 week in advance. I've been doing the last 2 weeks in advance or 3 weeks in advance. And as I mentioned to you, trying to predict, 2-3 weeks in advance is pretty difficult to do. It's not impossible. You can see how well I did here for about 2-3 weeks, predicting this move, this rotation, this sideways trending. Then we got into the downward breakaway and then the Kamala crush. And that's really where we get further out. As you get, 1 week, 2 weeks. 1 week is okay. 2 weeks you can kind of do. 3 weeks out, even though I can predict what's going to happen, price may move dramatically, especially when there's big news events. So predicting 3 weeks out in the future is not impossible. You just need to understand that when there's a big news event, price will deviate from norms very quickly. And that's kind of what happened through the last couple of weeks with the NASDAQ and with what I call the Kamala crush. Now, we're still moving into that Vortex Rally Phase. So if my analysis is correct, this is really the vortex pattern here. And the Vortex Rally Phase is going to be a rolling, like a tornado type of a move where it sucks in capital, pauses, sucks in capital, pauses, sucks in capital, pauses, sucks in capital, pauses, and continues to drive a higher and higher cycle price as we move forward. And I think this could continue well into and past the November election. So we're really looking at the election right here, November 4th, roughly. And that would give us a fairly solid upward opportunity to see the QQQs move up above 520, maybe 540, 550 before the election. I'm not going to guess that they're going to be up here at 618, although they could. But I'm going to guess that this vortex drives us up into this 550, 560 area fairly easily. What I'll do is I'll put a rectangle here around the area that I just highlighted, and we'll see how quickly it takes us to get there. Okay, now back to the SPY, and you can see, and I know everybody says, well, you have so many things on your chart. Yeah, I do. I'm sorry, just the way I am. And here's my vortex rally here, sucking up, and we'll make this green. We got a couple other lines here, which we don't need. And so there's the vortex rally, and the vortex rally setting up would probably be, come over here, something kind of like this to the upside. And there you go. There's the vortex rally. Here's kind of where I think it's going to go here. So let me highlight this, get this into a darker green color. And there you go. There's our big vortex rally moving higher and higher and higher. So we are going to continue to see how this plays out. On a long-term picture, I'm really looking for this vortex rally to kick into gear, driving us up into this 580, 600 area. But in immediate terms, we come down here to the 30-minute. And in immediate terms, what we need to do right now, ladies and gentlemen, is we need to get past this pop, this inverted base rally mode, and then this secondary base rally, and then the breakaway. And the breakaway pattern setting up right here, depending on where we close on this day, Thursday, could be a good solid rally phase back up into this 560, 562 area. And that could be a good solid breakaway pattern. So we have a pop, an inverted base rally mode, which should be a topping type of pattern. We'll know more by the end of the day. Then we get into another base rally mode, kind of reverting back up through rotation. Then we get into a breakaway mode. And I think the real breakaway mode could be quite a bit higher. We'll kind of leave it there, but we'll see how it plays out. Okay, guys, that's it for now. I've covered just about everything, and hope you like the videos.